barely see here. Uh, okay, so we're live. Good. So just a quick one here. I've been going through my inbox and I'm getting a lot of people that are gaslit. I've spoken to people like Jim Condit and pretty much everyone who's critical of the Israeli lobby, including the Arabs and the Americans here that are fans of people like Jim Trafficant and uh, Congressman Lindley, the author of the Dare to Speak Out. A lot of these guys have fallen into a Jewish trap. And the Jewish think that anyone that has ever stood up against a man who said that I've got to stop saying that Hitler was not working for the Jews, that I've got to stop saying that Jews are a race. And these are two sides of these are two points that are Jewish talking points. Number one, people that say to attack Jews as a religion as opposed to as a race, that's exactly the way the Jews frame things. Anytime you criticize Jewish power, they say, well, why would you persecute a religious group? The first line of defense that the Jews always bring up is saying they're a persecuted religious group. No, they're a race. They're a racial advocacy group. And don't don't just call them a religion. They're a race. Most Jews are atheists, but they identify racially. Most Jews that go to synagogue don't believe in God. They're atheists, but what they are is a racial group with racial in-group preference. So this argument that, don't call Jews, anyone that says don't call Jews a race is doing the Jews' work for them. They're either working for the Jews or they've been gaslit. And oftentimes I'll see this combined with another thing, and that is the claim that Hitler was working for the Jews to Palestine. Hitler tried very hard to send the Jews to Madagascar. He couldn't without starting a war in 1933. Then he tried to send the Jews to Australia, the United Kingdom, the United States, the Soviet Union. The Jews all unanimously kept the borders closed and would not allow Jews to be offloaded in London, New York, or over the Russian border, or the Soviet border. Australia was forbidden by its Jewish elements from accepting the Jews from Germany. He had no choice. The only place he was allowed to send the Jews to out of Germany, out of German soil, was Palestine. So that does not mean he was working for them. I've been reading Goebbels' diary showing that they were living hand to mouth. They had worth of expenses lined up in cash or in their bank account, and they were not bankrolled by the Rothschilds. This whole, oh, Hitler was working for the Rothschilds, Hitler was one of them. This is a Jewish talking point. So think about this. What do the Jews say when I challenge Jewish power in politics? A bunch of anonymous people come out and say, I'm working for the Jews. And this is the same type of thing that when people say Hitler, the greatest Jew fighter of the modern age, was working on removing Jews from power, they say he was working for the Jews. Not everyone who challenges Jewish power is working for Jews. I would say none of them, unless they're doing crazy stuff like saying they want to kill the babies and stuff and going around acting like violent hooligans. Those are the people that are working for the Jews. The people that go out, pretending to be a Hollywood neo-Nazi violent hooligan. These people are the people that are working for the Jews. But Hitler was definitely not working for the Jews. He was not working for the Rothschilds. And I'm sick of this. I'm going to start just blocking people who send me emails to this effect. There's plenty of information out there showing that he was not working for them. So, just going through my pat@littlerevolution.us email, seeing a lot of misguided souls. And some of the best people that oppose Israel's control of this country are convinced that Hitler was controlled opposition. That's a bad thing. When the people who are challenging Jewish power ostensibly in this country are talking about conspiracy theories like this 5G flying pyramids crap, that's all hype. It's what the Jews want people who criticize their power to talk about. Talking about how Hitler effectively removed Jews from power and how he tried to avoid World War II. That's exactly what the Jews don't want us talking about. And so, just as you see everyone that criticizes Jewish power being called a shill or being said that they work for the Jews or something like that, just start tuning those people out. Make an honest attempt at outreach to them. And if they're steadfast in their position, that means they're either too dumb to be useful or they're working for the Jews. But not everyone who criticizes Jewish power is working for the Jews. This is absolutely absurd reasoning. I can go through line by line some of these responses on this email here, and if you give me just a second, turn up the brightness. It's quite sunny. I'll go through some of the points this guy tried to make to me, and I'm not going to expose his name or anything like that because he's probably just a misguided idiot. But I'm sick of seeing this. If you liked, they speak a lot. The thing is, a lot of the people that are upset about Jewish control in this country, that are upset about Israeli control of our government, our Congress, our executive branch, our judiciary, they want to think that they can do that without admitting that Hitler was right. And so there's a predisposition towards trying to distance yourself from Hitler, trying to distance yourself from Edward the Longshanks, who expelled the Jews from Britain. And these are some of the arguments I came across. This guy is either an idiot or a Jew or gaslit by them, but let's see. So let me just summarize some of the points this guy tried to make. And this is typical of a lot of the stuff, and even Jim Trafficant's fed me a lot of this crap. And Jim Trafficant's pretty good, or not Jim Trafficant, Jim Condon. So let's see. So he says, I've been paying close attention to what you've been doing, and you are getting closer to being able to make some real noise. However, from where I sit, you need to do a few things to elevate yourself past the typical Jew neighbor. One is you must get more up to date on what's going on now. Green will help you because he's one of the best. I think he's referring to Adam Green, No More News. So I asked him to provide links of which episodes he wants me to see, etc., etc. So he says the second is that you need to stop arguing the race issue. Judaism is not a race unto itself. It is a theological construct. You cannot allow them of engagement and the language around it. They are creating definitions of words and using that to herd conservatives into their circular reasoning grist mill of arguing points. It's always been about demographics with them, and there have been mass conversions